Propaganda has shaped human history, influencing minds, inciting action, and even changing the course of entire nations. From the coins of ancient Rome to the posters of World War II, and now the memes of the digital age, propaganda is as powerful as ever. But how did it evolve, and what psychological tactics make it so effective? Today we explore the history of propaganda, its methods, its impact, and its undeniable power. The origins of propaganda stretch back to ancient times, with some of the earliest examples found in the Roman Empire. The Roman emperors were masters of self-promotion, using propaganda to cement their authority and shape their public image. One of their primary tools? Coinage. Every time a Roman citizen used a coin, they saw the emperor's face, along with inscriptions declaring the ruler's greatness or military victories. These coins acted as a constant reminder of the emperor's power and legitimacy, subtly reinforcing his image in the minds of the public. Monuments and public works also served a propagandistic purpose. Triumphal arches, statues, and even the Colosseum weren't just grand structures. They were tools to promote the emperor's glory, remind citizens of the empire's strength, and foster loyalty to the regime. In the Middle Ages, religion became a primary vehicle for propaganda. The Catholic Church, in particular, was skilled at using visual and written media to convey messages of power, control, and moral righteousness. Churches were adorned with elaborate art depicting scenes of salvation and damnation, reinforcing the Church's teachings and power. Fear of eternal punishment or promise of divine reward was a potent motivator, influencing how people lived and who they followed. During the Crusades, papal decrees and sermons rallied Christians to holy war, portraying the Muslim world as an existential threat to Christendom. This early use of religious propaganda was designed not only to unite Christians, but also to justify conquest in the name of faith. The invention of the printing press in the 15th century revolutionized the dissemination of ideas and laid the foundation for modern propaganda. For the first time, information could be mass-produced and rapidly spread. One of the most famous examples of early printed propaganda was Martin Luther's 95 Theses. Luther used the printing press to challenge the Catholic Church's authority, spreading his message far and wide. Pamphlets, woodcuts, and illustrations circulated quickly, inspiring revolts and sparking the Protestant Reformation. By the 17th century, propaganda was increasingly used by political movements. The English Civil War saw both sides distributing pamphlets to sway public opinion, marking the rise of propaganda as a political tool. The two world wars of the 20th century marked the golden age of propaganda. Governments across the globe deployed massive campaigns to mobilize their populations, boost morale, and demonize their enemies. During World War I, iconic images like Britain's "Your Country Needs You" and the United States' "Uncle Sam" became symbols of national duty. These posters stirred patriotism and encouraged enlistment, effectively framing war as a moral and national obligation. World War II took propaganda to new levels. In Nazi Germany, Joseph Goebbels, the Minister of Propaganda, meticulously controlled media to glorify Adolf Hitler and spread anti-Semitic messages. Posters, films, and radio programs were carefully crafted to manipulate public opinion and justify the Nazi regime's actions. Meanwhile, in the Soviet Union, Stalin's image was omnipresent. Propaganda portrayed him as a benevolent and all-knowing leader, while images of strong, heroic workers represented the triumph of communism. The Soviet propaganda machine tightly controlled art, literature, and film, ensuring that the party's narrative was the only one heard. Psychological tactics behind propaganda. What makes propaganda so effective? The secret lies in psychological tactics that exploit human emotions and biases. First and foremost is emotional appeal. Propaganda often stirs fear, pride, or hope, basic emotions that push people to act. In times of war, propaganda plays on fear of the enemy and pride in the nation to encourage unity and sacrifice. Next is the use of simplified messaging. Complex ideas are boiled down into powerful slogans or vivid images. This makes the message easy to digest, repeat, and spread. Think of the iconic loose lip sync ships or freedom or death posters, short, memorable, and direct. Propaganda also exploits the bandwagon effect, the idea that everyone is on board, so you should be too. Mass rallies, parades, and now viral social media movements create a sense of overwhelming public support. pressuring individuals to conform to the majority. Cold War and modern propaganda. The Cold War saw propaganda evolve yet again. The United States and the Soviet Union waged a battle for global influence, each using media to promote their ideologies, capitalism versus communism. In the US, fear of communism led to the infamous Red Scare, with posters, films, and news programs warning of communist infiltration. In the Soviet Union, propaganda reinforced the narrative of socialism's inevitable victory, portraying the US as the capitalist enemy. Television and radio became the dominant tools, reaching millions of people at home and abroad. Leaders on both sides understood the power of media in shaping public perception, making propaganda an essential weapon in the Cold War. The digital age propaganda in social media. Today, propaganda has adapted to the digital age. The internet, and particularly social media, has transformed how propaganda is created and spread. What once took weeks to circulate now takes mere seconds, reaching billions worldwide. Platforms like Facebook and Twitter allow for the rapid spread of information, but also misinformation. Political actors, troll farms, and foreign governments now use social media to sway elections, spread disinformation, and manipulate public opinion on a scale never seen before. The tactics of propaganda, emotional appeal, repetition, and the bandwagon effect are just as effective online as they were centuries ago. But with the added power of algorithms, today's propaganda can be targeted, amplified, and spread far beyond geographical borders, making it an even more potent tool in shaping public thought. From ancient Rome to the digital age, propaganda has always been about one thing: shaping how we think, what we believe, and how we act. Its methods may have evolved, but its purpose remains the same. In a world where information is at our fingertips, the challenge is not just to see the message, but to understand the motives behind it. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay curious about the forces shaping the world around us.